JC Tickets provides first-class trips to Ravens road games, including airfare, 4-star hotels, game tickets, and cocktail parties. We also help provide great seating locations to all Ravens home games. JC Tickets, where the games begin. Visit us at jctickets.net.
Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, jctickets.net, Geico Insurance, Dunaway Furniture, Ocean City Golf Club, RussellStreetReport.com, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Holiday Inn Express, the original Green Turtle, hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
And welcome back. It is the original Green Turtles Ravens Wrap Show right here on Comcast Beach TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio 93.5 The Beach. Broadcasting from the Ravens Room of the Blue Ox, 127th Street and Coastal Highway in Ocean City. Don't forget, we'd love to see you down here at the show. Not just Ravens Roost 44 is invited. All Ravens fans are invited across Delmarva. Of course, we love 44, but we give a lot of prizes away, including Ravens tickets, courtesy of our friends at jctickets.net. But we give away hotel stays, also golf packages, all sorts of great stuff, Bud Light prize packages. So we want to see you down here. 7 o'clock is when we start the show. 5 o'clock, food specials, and also Bud Light specials as well. So we want to see you down here at Wednesdays at the Blue Ox in Ocean City. All right, quickly, 2 things I want to get to before we take a trip around the AFC North and preview the upcoming game against the Chicago Bears. 1 o'clock kickoff. Pregame is at 12:30. Don't forget, our show airs on 93.5 The Beach every Sunday at 11 a.m. High school-wise, Stephen Decatur, hats off to Bob Knox, the only Bayside South team to make the Maryland State playoffs. Friday night, they play Lackey from Charles County on the Western Shore. Going to be a tough game, but best of luck to them when this radio show airs, though have already played. Indian River, they win the Hudson Open South. They're in the playoffs as well. They play, I believe, Saturday night, so best of luck to them. They got a tough pull, or draw, I should say, in that one. All right, back to the Ravens. Justin Tucker not only winning AFC Special Teams Player of the Week for his 46-yard winning field goal against the Bengals in overtime, but also, how about Justin Tucker getting married, okay? He got married, or not married, but I should say he proposed. He got engaged to his lovely girlfriend. So the couple was finishing dinner at Wit and Wisdom at the Four Seasons Hotel in Harbor East back on November 1st when Tucker slipped away, saying he needed to visit the restroom. Well, his date, his fiancée, well, his soon-to-be fiancée, was then escorted up to the hotel's pool deck where they had, candles all over the place, a beautiful skyline view of Baltimore. Now, Tucker had asked his friends, Alex Gaskarth and Jack Brackett from the Timonian-based band All Time Low to play Marry Me by Train. Well, as she came up, the candles were lit, and she walked down, and, of course, he proposed to her, and well, congratulations to Justin Tucker.
What is this, a reality show?
Yeah. Well, it says Justin Tucker's reality show, Worthy Marriage Proposal from the Sun.
You're a kicker. You don't have that much job security. Come on.
Well, so be it.
He can sing opera. He kicks field goals in the Lyric Opera House.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pretty talented guy.
Congratulations.
And he's such a romantic.
Yeah, such a romantic. Here's half my stuff.
He is. So. You know what? I've and this is live.
And we
folks.
wouldn't care about any of that if he missed that field goal.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right about that. Well, you know what? I seem to have misplaced my AFC North papers, so we will just go on with the show and get back to that. But the upcoming game at Soldier Field Sunday against the Chicago Bears. Let me give you a quick rundown of the Bears, and then we'll get some early previews of the team and your guys' thoughts on them. Coming in 8th overall in passing, Jay Cutler having a really good year. Rushing, their 15th overall with Matt Forte at running back. Defensively, though, 23rd against the pass, 31st against the rush. They're 5-4 coming into the game. Their wins, Cincinnati, Minnesota earlier in the year. Also Pittsburgh. They start out 3-0. They lose to Detroit, New Orleans. They bounce back with a win against the Giants on, I believe, Thursday night. They lose at Washington to the Redskins for the first time, I think, in a while, 45-41. They beat Green Bay 27-20. They lose 21-19 to the Detroit Lions. So 5-4 coming in. New head coach Mark Trestman, who had a lot of success in the CFL, also a former NFL coach. He runs the West Coast offense. But this is a team, though, that coming in They have really shored things up on the offensive line on the right side. They've got, I believe, 2 rookies playing there and provided Jay Cutler with a lot more protection. However, Jay Cutler is not going to play in this game. He's week to week with an ankle injury. All right, you're going to have a backup, Luke McCown, who's going to start also. Charles Tillman, their top cornerback, placed on IR, along with some other really good defensive players. So, Steve, the Ravens have caught themselves a real break having to go to Chicago without some key players.
They have, but when you look at it, compared to last week, Cutler is very immobile right now, whereas McGowan is mobile. So we're starting to look and are you really catching a break by catching mobile quarterback? And they've got with Alshon Jeffries, they have 2 wide receivers that have over 700 yards, and I don't think we have a second receiver that's even heard of 700 yards. I mean, we've got, I think 300 yards is about what
He read about it once.
Yeah, exactly. I saw it in the paper one time. But this is definitely, we are catching this team at a good time, and I think we 44 and rainy is the forecast. So that's one good thing about a running game. You really don't have to worry about it getting slowed down in the rain or the mud. So I think we're going to be good to go in this game.
Well, I think you said the Bears are ranked 31st against the run.
That's correct, yeah. Giving up over
those
4 yards
stats
a
will
carry.
improve this week.
Yeah. Well, Tony, I was going to say, though, I mean, no matter how bad the rush defense, though, until the Ravens can show that they can block a front 7 effectively, I don't care how good or how bad they are. I need to see it to believe it. And I know they lost Melton, one of their top defensive tackles, early in the year, I believe, to an ACL. But that's all fine and good, but we're just not a very good run-blocking team, and we're without one of our top guards, of course, in Osemele. So you got Shipley in there. We got the, essentially a rookie center, and we've had issues.
We have, and I think this might be a good matchup for the Ravens, though, because the Bears don't have a lot of beef on the defensive line. They don't. Julius Peppers against Michael Orr is probably the matchup that worries me the most. But other than that, the defensive tackles and defensive linemen for the Bears aren't these behemoth kind of players. They're not. So I think that bodes well for Gino Gradkowski and A.Q. Shipley, who aren't very big themselves.
They play a 4-3, by the way, so there won't be a nose tackle over top the center.
Another blessing.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to say about the Bears that makes me so upset just as a fan, you said it, Jeffries and Marshall. They're like 2 of the only receivers that have the team numbers, on the jerseys, and I can't figure out who the heck caught the ball half the time until they say it. So every time I'm confused. But you said a good point about with the run defense and all that, if it's going to be 44 degrees, slushy and all that. The Bears quarterback, the backup, you start him even if Cutler is somewhat healthy now. I really believe that because look at what he's done the last couple of games, even with the loss against my Redskins and all that. He was a stud for 3 quarters, and he's played great. So I think this is definitely going to be a big-time challenge for the Ravens. Don't look at him as a backup because after this year, I do believe this is his final year in his contract. He's going to start somewhere else in the NFL if they decide to keep Cutler.
Well, McCown is, what, an 11-year veteran?
Yeah, he's been, and I might have said Luke, I meant to say Josh, but you're spot on, JJ, because 60% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and as you mentioned, mobile. So, yeah, it's not Jay Cutler, but he is mobile, which Cutler isn't, but he hasn't been too shabby in terms of throwing the football.
Yeah. Now you're definitely losing leadership that Cutler provides that offense, but he's come in and done a real good job. And when you can come in and not throw any interceptions, you always give your team a chance to win.
Right. And quickly, guys, 1,521 yards. Those are the total yards between Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey, Jeffrey had a very disappointing rookie year out of Missouri last year, but he's really come on this year. You want to talk about big physical receivers. We know about Brandon Marshall. You might not think about that duo on a team that's really run the ball and play good defense, but they're tops in the league in terms of duos. So, last week we had A.J. Green and what Marvin Jones to contend with in terms of, deep physical or vertical threats that are also somewhat physical, but not as much as these guys. We did a good job, but we're going to have our work cut out for us again in the secondary.
We will, but I think that the way Dean Pease called the game against the Bengals, he should just mimic that game plan against the Bears because the Bears' offensive line isn't all that good. They're having a decent year, but it's because of Mark Trestman's system. They get the ball out quickly.
Because of the West Coast
offense. You got Jake Long, or not Jake Long, but one of the Howie Long's sons is playing right guard. He's not a really big guy. You got Garza is the center.
Yeah, I believe that's
and
correct.
he's a guy whose knees were blown out 5 years ago when the Ravens looked at him. So I think these guys are just technicians. They're quick, but it's all dependent upon McCown getting the ball out, and I think that's what you're going to do. But the thing about the Ravens that they've done really well against the Bengals, they were jamming on the corners. Jimmy Smith and Ladarius Webb were up in the faces of those receivers, and the Bengals receivers are every bit as good as the Bears receivers, and they did an effective job with that. So I expect them to do very much the same thing against the Bears.
I don't mind jamming, Alshon Jeffrey. Brandon Marshall, though, I think is going to win that battle. So I'd rather play off of him and put a safety over the top.
But
We
it's
did
all
a great job
timing.
against Green.
There's those timing routes in that West Coast offense. I think that disrupts that timing. And look, A.J. Green's about the same size as Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, I'd say Marshall's more physical.
Yeah, Marshall actually talked about it, and he said that Darius Webb, who he thought was one of the toughest guys to play against. He said that when he was playing in Denver, that he played.
I love these press conferences prior to the game. Everybody's the greatest.
Everyone loves everyone.
Everybody.
He said Ladarius was the
if they were
best
playing the
quarterback in the
Jacksonville
AFC.
Jaguars, they'd be the best running team since the
Mark
Green Bay
Brunell,
Packers.
greatest quarterback we've ever seen. He don't even play.
Oh my God!
Come
It's
on.
ridiculous.
Well, the guy.
I just want to see somebody say
He's
"Those guys
terrible."
Stink.
And
They
I've been
just
saying that for a
stink.
long time. We need to have on cable or something, and I've said real NFL with people like us four sitting somewhere calling the game on cable television, and we can say exactly what every single other person is thinking. That's what you need.
What he meant to say was
exactly.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's a good hit. No.
Lay
Let
down.
me tell you what really just happened.
Lay down the gauntlet.
Yes.
Well, how about the Ohio State player that said they wiped the field with Alabama and who's the other team? I mean, it's that kind of talk that I guess we're looking for there. But, hey, the one guy that we have not talked about, though, is in the backfield, Matt Forte, but he's also very effective out of the backfield in terms of catching the ball as well. He's another guy. He's averaging over 4 yards a carry. He's got 7 touchdowns this year. His longest run, 55, 4 plays over 20 yards. He's a guy we are going to have to watch out for. And our run defense was pretty good against the Bengals, but both their backs, though, did average over 4 yards a carry. It seems like we go in waves in terms of run defense from week to week, although
That's a good point.
I didn't feel like they dominated us, Cincinnati, that is, but that wasn't a great running game coming in. But, we definitely have to make sure that Forte is contained because we can talk play action. They can run play action off that all day.
Yeah, I think, Mike, that you hit the nail on the head with Forte is that he's a very dangerous receiver. And I think we've seen in the past where the Ravens have struggled with these guys that are good receivers coming out of the backfield.
All right, got to get predictions here. 30 seconds, guys. Go ahead.
I said it last time I was here. I don't even remember who it was. I say the Ravens are going to win 21-17. I said this last time because the Ravens went on to win the Super Bowl, and my Redskins, 3-6, the last time this year, ended up winning the NFC East. Ravens 21-17 win.
I like it. I like
There
it.
you go.
I like this guy, JJ.
There you go. There you go.
But I don't agree with him. I think the Ravens are going to lose, and I think that they just haven't shown to me that they can play well on the road. I think they're going to lose 23-20.
I think the Ravens come back. I think they're on a little bit of a mini roll right now, and I think they win this one 17-16.
Wow. Well, I know I've picked us for a fair amount of losses this year. I like the Ravens in this one, 23-17. JJ, thank you much. Tony, Steve, we're back next week. Go Ravens.
What's this all about?
We're giving Rich the NFL experience of a goal line dive.
Really?
There's an easier way to get an ultimate NFL fan experience. Just snap the tag wherever Bud Light is sold and you could win. Bud Light in the NFL. Here we go.
Can I make it? On the internet, yes. Into the end zone, no.